Nothing. Because the money that I put in, I got a product. I will use that product any point of time. Right? So when I don't have any choice in my life to make this much money, when I really need to make this much money, and when there's nothing to lose, what is there to think? I said, let me jump in with 100% belief and conviction that I'll be able to do it. Because honestly, when I started my job, I started my career with a telecommunication company. When I started my job, I did not know anything about telecommunication. When I started working with insurance, I did not know anything about insurance, right? So I learned, correct? I learned everything. Now this is something new. I will enter and I will learn. So this was very, very clear. And I knew if I work hard and if I have a conviction, I will be able to sail through. Okay. So I was not even looking at the worst case scenario where I fail, because my self-image says I cannot fail. I just can't fail. I will die before I fail. That means I put in my 100%. I do whatever it takes to make sure that I reach there. Correct. So this was very, very clear in my head. So your mindset. So first thing, before you even go out and you start talking to people, what you think about the business, what you believe is more important. Okay. Now, even before whether this company is good, whether this business is good, first of all, believe in yourself. Okay. Whether you are a character, okay, who will be able to sail through in any kind of a situation. If you believe that it is meant for you, if you believe in yourself that you will be able to do it, then no matter what is the project, no matter what is the company, no matter what is the product, you will sail through. So these are the first three questions I asked myself. Now, when you ask these three questions to yourself, your answer will decide if you should move forward, if you should start doing the activity which is required. Because if your reason to do the business, if that is not clear, no matter how much ever you get trained in mechanics, which we are doing in grooming school these days, okay, no matter how much ever you get trained, even if you follow what I'm telling you 100%, but your mindset is opposite to what I tell you, then you will not be able to get a result. So it is very, very simple. First, you need to be clear here that is this something for you? Okay. Do you have any other choice to make this much money? Okay. And what is there to lose? There is nothing to lose. Okay. So once that is clear is when you have to move on to mechanics. And what is this business all about? This business is all about talking to people. As simple as that. And women find it much easier than men, because women have been talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking throughout, right? But I was different. When I started this business, I hardly used to talk to people. I was very, very reserved. I never knew after saying hi to somebody what else to say. I had nothing to say. I didn't know how to strike a conversation with people, because being a performer in the school, being a performer in the corporate, being a performer in wherever I went, it was, the only thing that I missed is talking to people. I never focused on that. So I used to go to office, do my work and come back. I never spoke to anybody without any work. Whenever I had work, I spoke to people. When I had no work, I never stood with them and I never chit-chatted with people, And that's the reason why I didn't have enough friends. And when I came in this business, obviously the only thing that you need is your list. That's your only raw material, right? It took me a lot of time to build my raw material. Now, a lot of people today come to me and say my list got over, it is exhausted. And honestly, I don't understand it. If I can build my list and I still have a list which is untouched and I can still talk to people and still prospect them and still get them on board after 10 years of being in the business, I don't know what is their excuse. Okay, so first session that I took last week about list. Okay, if that is sorted, if that is taken care of, if you're worked on the list, then talking to people makes more sense. Okay, so you remember when I spoke to you about list, what I told you? Okay, so when you make a list, you need to make sure you only start talking to people when you finish writing minimum 500 names. Minimum, not maximum. Maximum could be 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, whoever you know, right? But minimum 500 people. Now the problem is people write 80 names, 20 names, 150 names, and they start talking to people, and after a month they come and they say, I exhausted my list. The point is, you never wrote your list. Correct? So first of all, have 500 people in your list. Till that time, keep searching for people on Facebook, wherever. I spoke to you all about it that day, how to increase your list, right? So have your list ready, okay? And then you start talking to people. Now, honestly, when I started this business, there was nobody to teach us. There was nobody to train, okay? The person who referred us in the business decided to quit the business, okay? And there was nobody to teach us or to train us, okay? So what happened is I started doing all the mistakes, okay? First of all, when you don't know what to talk, the phone suddenly becomes heavy. You pick up the phone, now you have to talk something because, this business is all about talking to people. So the phone becomes heavy. So suddenly I used to pick up the phone, 3 rings, I used to cut the phone and say, he did not pick up the phone. I used to be happy when people never used to pick up phone. You know why? Because I did not know what to talk to them. And there was this fear all the time inside me that if I talk, what if he asks? What if he says, is it MLM? What if he asks something that I don't know, I don't have an answer for? And there was so much of fear in me that I used to call 3 rings, I used to disconnect the call and say, I did my work, but he did not answer. But obviously that kind of attitude is not going to take me anywhere because I had no upline to show that, listen, I'm working. It was only me, myself. And sometimes, it is good when you have nobody to show what you're doing. You're doing it for yourself. Correct? Today I see a lot of people, they don't make calls and they say, I called up 5 people, none of them answered the phone. And I exactly know. These 5 people did not answer your phone because you gave 3 rings and then you disconnected the call thinking, hush, I did my work. Why? Why you go back and say this to your upline that I made 5 calls but nobody answered the phone? Because here you are just creating perception. Okay, you're not here. Probably the first 3 questions in your head is not very clear. If that would be clear, you will work for yourself. You will not work for your upline or to create perception in front of your upline. Right? So when I started the business, as I told you, there was nobody to teach us and there was nobody to train. Okay. So I used to pick up the phone and I used to talk to people like, I've started the business. It is good. You should do it. What was that? I myself don't know. Okay. It is good. Come. Listen to it at least once. I will show you. It is good. We should do it together. Now it was like, begging. It was like pleading. Pleading to people, come, it is very good. We will work together and we'll make millions. And nowhere I sounded like somebody who's going to make millions. Right? I sounded like a desperate person who just wants to get somebody on board. Right? So I used to call up people and say, hey, listen, I started the business and it is a very good business. It is, it has a potential of $1 million. Come, we will do it together and I will explain you everything. Just see once. So the guy used to say, but what is it? No, it is good. It is not like Amway. It is not like Amway. It is not like chain marketing. It is not like any other, all these businesses outside. It is very good. It is very good. I will come. I will explain you. Now, if I do this, do you think people will come? Do you think people will trust me and say, oh, she knows what she is doing, right? I never gave that feeling to people, And so this is how I used to call. And after making so many calls and not getting any result. Now, in this case, result doesn't mean sign up. In this case, result means people turning up on table, people coming on table to listen to the business. Correct? That is the result that I was expecting. But when I was talking to people and I was saying all these things, obviously nobody came on table. Right? Now, from the word go, I mean, the moment I made the call, my convincing used to start. And I think it happens for two reasons. One, obviously I had a belief in myself, but I think I did not, I also knew that people outside has a perception about this industry. Okay, and that perception probably is facing this challenge. Since there was nobody to teach me, I started reading these books. And when I started reading these books, I realized that I am doing so many mistakes. I used to feel that everybody is here and my business is here. So I am doing something that the world doesn't want to do, or I'm doing something which doesn't have that kind of a credibility. Right? Until the time I kept feeling that I kept convincing people to get into the business, or kept convincing people to come on the table. Okay? After reading books, I realized that I am a part of the business which is the future. And this is the only business that will be left with as an option with people. There will be nothing else eventually. Eventually, everything around the world will be sold on either internet or through network marketing. There will be no other choice with people. So why not today, if I have an opportunity, why not me utilizing this opportunity? Okay. So, whatever challenges that you are going through in prospecting or talking to people, trust me, it's not that we were born, I was not trained, before I got into the business. I did not come in the business like this, so confident. Right? I entered the business, I did my own mistakes, and I learned from my mistakes. And I never repeated those mistakes. And I tried new things every now and then. And that's where the whole process came in picture. Today, we talk about 5+3. I hope you all know about 5+3. Today, we talk about 5+3. Where does this entire 5+3 come from? It's obviously because I did mistakes. I knew what worked, what doesn't work. Because when I read in question are the answers. Okay, the book said that when you talk to people, you have to basically identify a hot button. Now, what is a hot button? Hot button is basically the pain area in his life and stuff like that, and you have to press the hot button. Okay, now I was so new in the business, or in terms of the mindset, that first of all, for me to accept that I'm a part of the brilliant industry itself took a lot of time. Now imagine talking to people and trying to find a hot button, and pressing the hot button was like impossible, right? So I said, why not? I talk to people, okay, just general, and see what they're looking at in life, okay? And that's what I started doing, okay? And then when I started doing that, it worked really well. And when it worked well in one of the CTCs, I shared that, and we said, we will change the whole process, and this is the new process now. Okay. And from there, the 5+3 came in picture. Sachin basically then, he picked up this concept and he basically made something called as 5+3. Okay. And 5+3 happened. Now today, your life is so very simple. You listen to Sachin's 5+3, you listen to my prospecting audios, you listen to your uplines talking, you recorded and listen to it 10 times, you would know how exactly you need to talk. It is as simple as that. But when you make your list, you remember last time when I spoke to you about list, I told you to categorize your list. Okay? I told you to categorize your list into 3 parts. Hot, warm, cold. Right? Hot, warm, cold. I hope you all have already done that. You have categorized your list into hot, warm, and cold. Now, whenever you start calling or whenever you start your business, the first people that you need to talk to, obviously, is your hot zone. Now, why we need to start talking with a hot zone, and who's a hot zone? Hot zone is not somebody who's hot. Hot zone is somebody who you love. Somebody who's very, very close to you. Somebody who can take a bullet for you. Somebody who's a very close friend. who trusts you and you trust him, and your school friend, maybe your family, okay, somebody very, very close to you. So that is your hot zone. So whenever we basically start the business, it is with a hot zone. Now, why we need to talk to the hot zone? The idea is very clear, okay? If there is an opportunity to make $1 million and I can pass the benefit of my hard work to the first 2 or 4 people in my life who are very, very close to me, why would I not do that? Correct? So if, let's say today I am a 001, I start building my organization. Whoever I put on my left and right, the first 2, 3, 4 positions, whoever I put, whether they work or they don't work, if they work, good. If they don't work, it's absolutely okay. Okay, whether they work or they don't work, whatever that I will build in my entire life will all come under them. So in once in a lifetime, if you are getting an opportunity to pass on the benefit of your hard work to somebody, okay, who you really love, why would you shy away in giving that position to those people? Right? Why would you not make an extortion call? Now, I know when I say extortion, a lot of people say, oh, that's what I did. That's what happened with me. Guys, I am a hot zone sign-up of Sachin. Imagine if Sachin, before signing me up, okay, he would have told me, no, you understand it fully, you do your research, you do this, and then you decide if you want to do it. I would have never done the business. Although I understood the business before, okay, but I never wanted to do it because I always thought that network marketing is for people who don't know anything else to do. Successful people like me, you know what happens when you get successful in corporate, it gets into your head because there's nobody to tell you that, hey, listen, don't fly too much, right? Here there are your uplines to tell you. So I always used to feel that, why I need to do this? I don't need to do this, okay? And I was not on for network marketing. So imagine if Sachin would have tried to convince me and not sign me up. I would have not been there in the business. All of you, those 18, 20, 30, I don't know how many thousand people who are connected, none of you would be a part of the business today, right? Because I never believed in the industry. Why I did not believe in the industry? I did not believe in the industry because I saw a lot of people before QNet, okay, from different companies. They approached me, and when they approached me, they did it in a very wrong way. They became a leech, They were after my life to sign up. And I actually signed up also in one of the network marketing company before just to get rid of that person. It was just 5,000 rupees that I had to pay. And I said, chuck it, man, take that 5,000, just picha chodo, just leave me alone. Okay. And after this, do not talk about the business to me. I said that to that person. Okay. And I signed up. So basically my point is the perception was bad. Now, so obviously I never wanted to sign up. Okay, Sachin was gung-ho about it, and when Sachin discussed with me, I said, if you want to do it, you do it. Because, as a rule in our life, me and Sachin, we don't stop each other for anything that we want to do. As simple as that. If I do something, even if it is wrong, but if I'm convinced about it, I'll do it. Even if I fail, he's not going to come and tell me, listen, I told you not to do it. We don't do all such stupid things, right? So it is very clear. You do what you feel like doing. I do what I feel like doing. Okay. So it's very simple. So when Sachin, signed me up, he never tried to convince me. He just signed me up. Okay, and he gave me the first position in his organization. So if I have that first position in the organization, obviously before even I got active, whatever got built under me, whatever small little team that was built under me, that people were still there, right? I got the benefit. In fact, after I started working, my one side got built only by that team. Right? Obviously, me working with them throughout, but obviously there were these people, and these people started working, and then that site got built. And what I had to do, is focus on this side, okay, and then focus on this side also. So for the entire 1.5 year in my business, I was only focusing on the existing team. That means I was not focusing too much on my cash out, my weaker side. But that's absolutely okay. At least team is getting built, right? So basically, simple, you have to get your hot zones in. These are the people who should get the first position, because guys, understand, you need to understand the potential of the business. $1 million. And you're building a credit of $500,000 on somebody's one side. The other person just need to do 50% of the work, and every you trust me, you're very, very, very poor. If it wasn't two of us maxing out consistently, we wouldn't be able to live the kind of life that we live. That was to begin with. And then there were multiple tracking centers that were built, and they also started maxing out. So do you guys realize the importance of signing up the hot zones? Right? And you know what? The hot zones, you will only be able to sign up your hot zones when you believe in the business. And when somebody comes on board and somebody starts and say, oh, I don't have a hot zone. No, my family is not very close to me. No, I don't have friends that close to me. When somebody says that, I know it's a belief issue. I know that person, when he moves to warm zone also, is not going to get results. Right? Why? The belief has still not come. Correct? So when you have belief in the business, is the only way you can start signing up your hot zones. Right? A lot of people don't even talk to their hot zones. And they just assume that they will not do it. The hot zones ask one question, raise one objection, and they go down. Correct? So, guys, if you have that belief, then signing up hot zone should not be an issue. And if you're facing an issue signing up your hot zone, that means there's still a belief issue, right? Which you need to work on. So today, if you can't speak to your father, if you can't speak to your own spouse, if you can't speak to your own brother or your own sister or your best friend about the business, what you will talk to the world? When they don't believe you, how do you think the world will believe you? How do you think you will be able to pass on the conviction to strangers when you're not able to pass on the conviction to your own people? Right? So first thing, your hot zone, and I know when the person does a hot zone, I know the click has happened. Now I know this person will actually start doing the business. Right? Till the time, I've seen a lot of people who come to me and say, I don't have a hot zone, I don't have a hot zone. We move to warm zone because we don't have a choice. We move to warm zone, but they don't get any result. Okay. After signing up hot zone, there are chances that the result might still take time, but it will come. It will come, right? It happened with all of us, correct? So imagine if Sachin wouldn't have signed me up, such a loss for me. He wouldn't be alive today, I know, if he would have done that. But thankfully, he signed me up. Then he signed up Sharfun on the other side. Imagine if Sharfun wouldn't have signed up, the half of the other organization of Sachin wouldn't have existed. Right? So he signed up her as a hot zone. Then my mother-in-law is his hot zone. Is my mother-in-law making money? Yes. Right? A little bit, but yes. Right? Is my father-in-law signed up? Yes. Right? Is his sister signed up? Yes. Is my sister signed up? Yes. My cousins? Yes. Did all the people, my friends, my very, very close friends? Yes, they are my hot zones. They are signed up. Now, if I would have gone and explained business to my best friend, my first hot zone was my best friend. He's a guy who always stood with me with all my ups and downs, and he was always there. And we always thought that it would be so much fun if there was a day when we can work together on something. But I started my corporate life, he got into his own dad's business, and we obviously could not do anything together. But we were together in all our thick and thins, and this was the guy who came in my mind first time when I heard about hot zones, right? Where did I hear about hot zones? Because obviously I told you I read books and I also watched videos. So in one of the videos, our very own chief talks about a hot zone. And when I listened to that, when I was watching that DVD or that video, I realized that, there are so many people in my life I want to sign up. And he very beautifully explained what is hot zone. And he said, if you go to your father and you say, hey, dad, come, I will show you a business project. If you like it, you can start with me. It will be so awkward because we never speak to our parents like that. Right? Imagine me going to my best friend and saying, hey, listen, I want to share a business opportunity with you. 5 o'clock, let's meet in a coffee shop. Come in formals. We will discuss everything and we'll see if we can work together. Imagine if I tell this to my best friend, he'll slap me and he'll say, hey, what's wrong with you? Right? So there was no way that, my friend will sit seriously and listen to my entire presentation and listen to the whole plan. There was no way he could do that. Right? He would not take me seriously. But I wanted to sign him up because I realized the potential of the business. He still don't know about it. Right? And I also knew if I talk to my friend and if I tell him that, this is the business, he will do his research. He will not do the business himself. He will not allow me also to do it. Because obviously a lot of people feel it is a trap. Okay, so I knew that he will not let me do the business, but I wanted to do it. Okay, so what I did, I picked up my phone. I said, chalo, let me talk to this guy and let me see if I can sign him up. Okay, now I realized that explaining the business does not make any sense. Okay, so what I did, I called him up. Now this is a hot zone, guys. Okay, this is not something that you do with everybody. You only do it with your family or somebody who's very, 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 very close to you. Okay, with whom you can do this. Okay, so I called up this guy. Okay, and I was anyway excited about the whole business. I was excited that I'm going to make $1 million. I was excited that I got an opportunity and there was nothing else in my life before this. So excitement was there. Okay, and when I heard the strategy of making a multiple million, I was super excited. And I said, if today I have a choice to share it with maybe 2 or 3 or 4 people in my life who are very close to me, then why not? So I made my hot zone list. In my hot zone list, there were 7 people. Okay, trust me, if you have more than 7, you are lucky. Ideally, most of the time, there are not more than 2, 3, not more than that. Right? So I made a list of 7 people who I thought were very, very close to me. So this was my friend, the first person. Okay. I picked up the phone. Okay. And same, I shared pleasantries, blah, 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 blah. And I said, hey, listen, I need to talk to you something really, really important. And I'm very, very excited. I got started with the project, okay, and I've just recently started, since 2 months back, I started working on this project, and it is an amazing business, has a potential of making $1 million year after year after year after year, and there's nothing like this that I ever saw in my life before, and my life is going to change, and I'm really excited. Now what I want you to do is, I want you to work with me on this project. So he said, but what it is? I said, listen, I don't have time to explain you. Neither I have time to come to your city and sit with you and explain you everything. Those days, even the Zoom calls weren't there. And I said, there is no way I can explain you right now. But what I want you to do is you need to transfer this much money in my account. Just give me the money. I will explain you everything when we meet. Okay? When you understand, and if you decide to work on this project, we'll make millions together. If you decide to not do the business, absolutely okay. Just give it to me. In India we do that. Oh, पैसे वार के फेंक देते हैं. So I said, just think that you have given to a good friend. Okay, I am not promising you anything. I don't know if it is for you. But if today I have an option to pass on the benefit of my hard work to somebody, your name came in my mind and I thought, why not talking to you and why not telling you that there is something that you can do? But I cannot obviously come there and I cannot explain you right now anything. But if you trust me, get in. If you don't trust me, absolutely okay. Correct? He said, of course I trust you. I said, so listen, transfer this much money in my account. Okay, I will register you, you will get the receipt. Don't look at the receipt. Right? Because he looks at the receipt, he will try and do research. Don't look at the receipt. It's all formality. I will do that. Okay, and I will start working. Whenever I come to your city, okay, we will sit and we will understand, or you come to my city. We will sit, we will understand. Okay, but right now, why it is important to? Because obviously I am going to build. We are not going to meet for next 6 months. What's the point? Delaying. Okay. We always wanted to work together. If today there is an opportunity where all of us, all my school friends and everybody, we can, hold each other's hand, work on somebody and reach a finish line together, then there can't be a beautiful opportunity. And I said, listen, it never happened in a job. We always wanted to work together. We could not do job in the same company. We could not do any business together. Today there is an opportunity. I don't want to miss this opportunity. And I don't want you also to miss this opportunity. Just grab it. Just transfer this money. Trust me, if you understand, we'll make millions. If you do not trust me, anyway, you're giving money to me, which is obviously non-refundable, right? So if I was in a trouble, okay, and if I would have asked this much money from you, would you give me or no? He said, of course, I'll give you. I said, that's it. So I'm not in a trouble, but I still need that money. Okay, he transferred that money. He got signed up. Okay, next was my sister. Okay, because I lost my mom very early in my life and I was 13, and my sister then played a role of my mother, and you know what happens? Mothers are mothers, but when sister becomes a mother, she's a very dangerous mother, right? She wants to keep a tab on everything that I'm doing. She wanted to know, although she was married, okay, but she wanted to know where I'm going, what time I came home. Like, she controlled my life completely. And I loved her, So we had this great bond with each other, that we understood each other so well that, I cherished that relationship with my sister forever. Okay. So I called up my sister and I said, listen, I started something. Don't ask me questions, because I know she will start, she will start asking questions after questions after questions. Why? Out of concern. Out of concern that she should not go wrong anywhere. I hope whatever she's doing is fine. Out of concern, she'll start asking questions. And I was very, very clear that on phone, I don't want to explain her anything. And I was in Pune, she was in Gujarat. So there was no point, right? So I just called her up. I said, listen, I've got into something really, really exciting. Okay. It's a great business, huge earning potential. I need this much money from you. Don't ask me questions. I will come and explain you everything. If you understand, we'll make millions together. If you don't understand, just you're giving this money to me, right? Which is non-refundable, correct? So just give me this money. She said, no, I want to know what it is. I said, listen, no matter how much ever I try to explain you over phone, there is no way. If today I am stuck in the middle of the road, okay, and I am waiting for somebody to come and rescue me, and if your name comes in my mind and you're the first person I call, that means you hold that place in my life, okay? And if today, if I can pass on the benefit of my hard work to somebody, and if your name came in my mind, you hold that importance in my life. And that's the reason why I'm calling you. Whatever money that you're going to transfer me, it is not going to change my life. You know it, right? I am not unsuccessful in my corporate career. It was going fine. I wasn't unsuccessful in my business. It was going fine. Right? And today, if I am doing something, I would have understood. I know the potential, and that's the reason why I'm asking you. So do not ask me questions. I know what I'm doing. I'm not best of buddies. And we did all the stupid things together, right? We grew up together and we knew each other very well. Although we never thought that we will do something together, right? But she was my friend. I called her up also, same thing. And the first thing I asked her, I said, I called you to ask you something. She said, yeah. I said, do you trust me? She said, why are you asking stupid question? Are you drunk at this time of the day? Shame on you. I said, listen, I'm serious. Do you trust me? She said, of course I trust you. What kind of question is this? I said, if I ask you for this much money, would you give it to me? She said, are you in a trouble? Is there a problem? What's wrong with you? I said, there's nothing wrong. Everything is okay. I've started a business project. Today I have an opportunity that whatever hard work that I put in, I can pass on the benefit of this hard work to somebody. And you came in my mind because you are my best friend. Okay, would you trust me without even knowing the business? Would you trust me because I can't come to Hyderabad? Right? When we meet, I will explain you everything. If you understand, we will work together. If you do not understand, you're anyway giving it to me. Right? So she said, absolutely. No questions asked. There are people in your life, and when you make this hot zone call, I realized something that I never thought that there are people in this world who trust me like this, who will just, I will say it and they'll do it and they will not ask any question. And this girl from Hyderabad, this was one friend who trusted me, like with closed eyes. And she said, whatever, whether this business will work or not work, if you want me to be a part of it, I will be a part of it. Whatever it is, I don't even want to know. Whenever you want to explain me, you can explain me. Right? So this girl also signed up, correct? So your hot zones, when you do this exercise, trust me guys, when you do this exercise, one, obviously you will realize who are your hot zones and who are not. And it's absolutely okay if some of the hot zone call goes the other way and the person you thought will be like, will sign up like this, will not sign up. It's absolutely okay. This exercise will show you who will stand with you and who will not stand with you when you will actually need it. Because imagine tomorrow, if there is a medical emergency in your family and you call these people you bank on, right? They are not going to help you. Correct? So you will know who are the real people who really matter. Okay? And for whom you matter. So these are your hot zones. Now my own father, my own uncles, obviously these are my hot zones. Right? Now, how weird would that be if I call up my father and say, Dad, 5 o'clock, come for a meeting. We need to understand the business. He will slap me. Right? So there is no other way, at least for me. I don't know about you if you can make this call to your dad. Right? I could not make that call to my dad. So the only way for me to sign them up was just a emotional call. Now you make that call an emotional call, you make that call an extortion call, whatever call that you make. But why you're doing this is, first of all, get your intent very clear. You are not doing it to make quick bucks. As simple as that. Because signing up your hot zones is not going to make you max out. It will give you nothing. It will give you some few checks initially. Right? But that's not the money, that's not the reason why you're here. That's not the kind of money for which you signed up. Right? So obviously you're not doing it because you will make some money. This will be a very stupid thought to make money out of your hot zone. Right? You're giving those positions to your hot zone because you love them. Because you want to pass on the benefit of your hard work to you. It is a very stupid thought. If you think that I'm signing my hot zone so that I make early money, no. Do not sign up your hot zone then in that case if this is your thought. Correct? Because we are not signing up hot zone for money. We are signing up hot zones because we really care. Because we really believe in this business. And we really believe that we are going to build it big. Why not passing the advantage or a benefit to them? Right? So that's your hot zone. So guys, get your hot zones in. And trust me, this exercise will be a different kind of eye-opener to you about your relationship with people and what you have built in terms of relationship all these years. How many people really trust you? Right? A lot of them will say, no, I trust you, but I want to know. And what kind of trust it is? Right? Doesn't make sense, right? So fine, it's absolutely okay. Do not call any Tom, Dick, and Harry and assume that they will be hot zone. Do not start calling people and asking for money. That's a wrong way of doing business, right? We're not doing that. So first, your hot zones, your own family, your best of buddies need to be in the first position in your organization. As simple as that. Correct? So, you have seen in India, whenever we form any company, for example, okay, do you know even Dhirubhai Ambani signed up his hot zone? They have been doing it before we started doing it. Do you know half the companies were in the name of Kokilabin? Right? Do you know every businessman does that? Do you know every businessman makes their own family members a partner? Right? Everyone does a hot zone. Now, when you have to do a hot zone, what's your problem? Correct? So, get your hot zone, because every big businessman today in this world have their hot zone signed up. Every big businessman doesn't mean every networker. Means every business around the world. Whatever businesses that you see around the world, each one of them, when they started, they signed up their hot zone. Means they got their own family first in the business. Right? Every family member holds a share in the company, right? Then when you are here trying to build an empire, trying to build an organization of hundreds of thousands of people, why don't you want to give share to your own family, right? It will be a very stupid thought process to not get your hot zone in. Just because you want to try the business, just because you want to see if it works. Only if it works, I will get my hot zone in. Trust me, it will never work. Because it's not about the business, it's about your belief system. If you don't have a belief, nothing will work, right? So get your hot zones in, okay? Then once your hot zone is in, okay, comes your warm zone. Now, what is your warm zone? Your warm zone are the people who are friends to you. Your warm zone are people, your office colleagues, anybody you know. And you have spoken to multiple times, okay? Not once, but multiple times. That is your warm zone. Somebody who you call will not say, hey, who's this? Somebody who you will call and say, hey, hi, how are you? Would know you, right? That is your warm zone. Okay? So after you finish your warm zone, do not jump to warm zone before doing your hot zone, right? Or, if you don't have a belief, you're here to try the business, try your warm zone. It might work. So I'm not very convinced about it. But try it, right? So your warm zones. Now, when you talk to you first of all, honestly, you don't need any training when you are talking to your hot zones, because you're talking to your own people. What training would you need to talk to your own hot zones? But when it comes to warm zone, you need to know what you're talking, because your warm zones are going to ask you questions. Okay, so now when it comes to warm zones, obviously we have divided the whole process. We have set the whole process. The first process is called the information call. Okay, now what is an information call? Information call is very, very simple. It is like, for example, tomorrow, and I always give this example because it's most relevant. Let's say tomorrow you're opening a sari shop, or you're opening a sweet shop. Okay, so let's say tomorrow you're opening a sweet shop. Before even the sweet shop gets open, what do? You start talking to people, and you start telling people that you're going to start a sweet shop. You're starting something of your own. You're going to start a sweet shop. The work is on, the renovation is going on, the interior is going on, or whatever, right? You start talking about it. Then what do you do when the sweet shop is opening? You do an opening ceremony. Every businessman does that. They do an opening ceremony. Now, what is the use of doing an opening ceremony? Why do they do an opening ceremony? They can make their 4 people in the family sit and do puja and start the business. No? Why to do opening ceremony? It is important because that's where the networking comes in picture. Today, guys, no business on this planet. No business on this planet. Tell me one business. No business in this planet works without networking. Every business works on networking. Okay? So, obviously, they do a opening ceremony. So what they do in an opening ceremony, they basically make a list. Like you did, you made your list, you made your prospect list, they make their invitation, whoever they want to invite, they make a list of people. Even in our weddings, we do that. Before going and inviting somebody for your wedding, what do? We all sit in the family, we make a list of people and we make sure that we don't forget anyone's name. Correct? So, you made your list. So, they also make their list when they are opening a sweet shop. They make a list of people they want to invite. Then the phone call starts. Okay? Then the phone call starts and they call and they say, hey, listen, I told you I'm starting a sweet shop. I'm opening. Tomorrow is an opening day, or let's say 15 days later is an opening day. You come with your family. More the merrier. Right? Come with your family. So you start inviting them. Why do you start inviting them? Because you want, when you're opening, more and more people to come to your sweet shop. Because when they come to your sweet shop, what will you do? First day, when they come for the opening ceremony, obviously when they eat sweets from your shop, you're not going to charge them. They will taste all the sweets that you have, right? You're not going to charge them. So once they taste the sweets that you sell, if they like it, what they will do? They will obviously refer it to other people, okay? Or tomorrow during Diwali or their family functions or any kind of a wedding, they will give you an order. They will basically buy sweets from you, okay? And that's the reason why you invite people for the opening ceremony. And let's say if 100 people come for your opening ceremony, tomorrow, a lot of people known to them, if they have a wedding, mundan, whatever kind of a function, Diwali, okay, they will say, go to this sweet shop. It is owned by one of my friend or relative. The sweets are amazing, right? It's on the word of mouth. The business gets promoted, and that's the reason why the opening ceremony is so very important. Correct? So you are doing an opening ceremony of your business. Don't you think you need to inform people that you have started something of your own? Now, nowhere here I'm asking you to invite them for the plan. Nowhere here I'm telling you to sell them the concept, the business concept. I am telling you, tell people that you've started something of your own. Inform them about it. Because till the time they don't know, how are you expecting them to come in the business? They need to first of all know. Correct? So your information call starts there. Okay? So you make your list, you categorize them with your hot, warm and cold, and your hot zone is done. Now you're moving on to warm zone. Okay? So now when you move on to your warm zone, you will pick up the phone and you will talk to the person. Now what will you talk? Understand? It is an information call. Okay? And not a plan on phone. It is just an information call. It is not a plan on phone. You don't start discussing everything about the business over phone. You're just informing them. For example, if you have opened a sweet shop and you are now informing somebody. You're informing that you're starting a sweet shop or you've started a sweet shop. The person will have, what kind of sweets you have? Oh, we have this. What is the price range? This is the price range. How do you make sweets? What will you say? Hey, listen. How do I make sweet? Meaning what? You come, you want to eat? You come. I will make you taste the sweet. Right? How do I? Nobody talks about the trade secret of their business. Correct? And nobody gets into this whole detail of, you know what, we bring 50 liters of milk and then we do this and that is a process and this is how the sweets are made and this is how we do it. Nobody gets into that. It is an opening, it is an invitation for opening ceremony. As simple as that. So you are also informing people that you have started something of your own. So pick up the call. Okay, get on a call, share pleasantries. What are these pleasantries? Hey, hello, how are you? Hope everything is fine. What's up? How are things? How are kids? Bhabhi ji kaisi hai? How's whatever? You know, you share all your pleasantries. Now, in a corona time, you can always share. how are you holding up during lockdown? How's life? How's things? And you always have an option to call people, because this is the time everybody is getting in touch with everybody, right? Because they have all the time to talk. So this is the best time to do your information. This is the best time to do your invites. This is the best time to do the plans. Okay. And that's the reason why the activities across the organization has grown so much. There are much more trainings today than ever, right? You're learning more than ever, correct? So you pick up your phone and you talk to people. Now, when you talk to people, how do you inform? So, as I said, share your pleasantries. When you share your pleasantries, obviously, when you say, what's up, how are you holding up during lockdown? The person will say, yeah, first week was okay, second week is tiring, third week I just want lockdown to get over, and I don't know. So what's with your job? Is everything okay at job front? No, we are working from home, but I don't know what is going to happen. A lot of us are working on a salary cut and blah, blah, blah. That's happening. Okay. So somebody will say this, or somebody will say something, and somebody will say, everything is fine, my job is fine, everything is going good, or whatever they say. Okay. Now, since you ask them about their job or profession or traditional business or whatever they're doing, as a courtesy, the person also would ask you, what's up with you? What are you doing? Right? So that is your opportunity. That is an opportunity where you can tell them what you're doing. Okay. Then you say, oh, my job is as usual, if you're a part-timer. Okay. My job or traditional business, my job is as usual, it's going on. But obviously, how long I can keep doing job? I'm sick and tired of this, go to work, coming back home, go to work, coming back home, go to work, coming back home, and 9 to 5 every day, and nothing is changing. Life is still the same. When I was a junior executive, the life was same. When I became a sales manager, the life was same. When I reached a certain position, the life was same, just a little more salary, just a higher position. But the expenses are also increasing the same way. Earlier I was alone, today I have a family. So obviously the expenses are also increasing. So from a very, very long time, I was thinking to do something of my own, and I was desperately searching to do something. And I don't know if I told you, but I started something of my own. Okay, and I'm so excited that I can't tell you. It's a 3 to 5 years project and a huge earning potential. So the guy will say, there are 3 kind of responses here that will come. Okay, now listen to me carefully. There are only 3 kind of responses that come. There is no 4th response. This I'm saying out of my 10 years of experience. Only 3 kind of responses that come. The first response, okay, is there something, what's in it for me to do? I mean, can I also do it? I also want to do something. Is there anything in it for me? Right? This is the A response. So when somebody says this to you, mark A in front of his name in your list. Okay? But the guy is also open to do something, curious to do something. What he doesn't know, but he also wants to do something. Okay, because what is prospecting, guys? What are we trying to do here? We are trying to sort people. People who can be in, people who can't be in. Okay. Last time when Gautam spoke to you, he shared an example of that garbage and the metal. So what you do for you, if you have to basically take out metal from the garbage, what do? You basically take a magnet and you basically put a magnet here, the metal will automatically come. Correct? So this is what we are doing. We are right now sorting. Okay, who can be, who is willing, who's ready, who's open, and who's not open. It's as simple as that. Correct? So, obviously the person would say, so the first response is when you say that, listen, the job is fine, it's going on, and you obviously give him a reality of your job. Now, what is the reality of your job? For 99% of people, the reality of a job is there is always more month than money. Right? That means there's always more time left than the money in their bank account. And they last 10 days of the month, they, survive somehow and they wait for first to come to get their next salary. Okay, that's the scenario across. It is not different for anybody. Correct? So obviously, so you give them the gist of your situation in the job. Okay, and you also then say that I was looking out to do something from a very long time. I was searching, and which is true. Correct? You're not lying anything, you're not saying anything which you did not do. Okay? So I was looking hard to do something, and fortunately I found something. It's a 3 to 5 years project. I'm partnered with a multinational company, and it has a great earning potential. So as I said, the first response, can I also do it? Is there anything in it for me? A response. Now when person says, is there anything in it for me? Don't jump. Don't say, yes, come, I will explain you. No. Right now we are just trying to check whether the person is open or not. We are not here to prospect them. Correct? So say, listen, I don't know right now. If something comes up, I will definitely let you know. Okay? Right now there's nothing. If something comes up, I will definitely let you know. Don't jump there. Correct? Then share the pleasantries again. Rest everything okay. Hope everything is fine at home. Keep in touch. Stay safe. Okay? Keep the phone down. Now you dance if you want to dance. Correct? But on the call, don't get in and say, yes, come, we will do it together. Pata hai kitna acha business hai, there are millions in you. Please don't do that. Correct? Say, listen, right now I don't know, I'm not really sure. If something comes up, I will check with my senior business partner. If something comes up, I will let you know. That's your A response. Then there's B response. Now in B response, obviously, the person would be more curious to know what you're doing. So when you share your pleasantries, hi, how are you, hello, what's happening, blah, 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 and you ask about his job, obviously he will also ask you, what's up with you? And you will say, same thing. Hey, listen, your job is going fine, everything is fine, the money is coming in, that's okay. But, for how long I'll keep doing this 9 to 5, going to work, coming back home, going to work, coming back home. I'm sick and tired of doing this. When I was executive, the salary was this, and today the salary is this, but the situation is just the same. Because now I have more responsibility, because now the expenses have gone high, and I'm hand to mouth. And, at the end of the day, there's always more time left than the money in my bank account. So I, from a very long time, looking out to do something, and I was desperately searching to do something. And I started something of my own 2 months back, 3 months back, or whatever, however old you are. Okay. And I started something along with my job, if you're a part-timer, along with my job couple of months back. And I'm working on this project. Now the guy will say, the B response would be, but what exactly it is? So basically this guy is curious to know more about it. Okay. Now how much can you explain on the phone? You can't explain much on phone. So you tell them that, listen, I'm partnered with a multinational company. We work with different industries. Okay. Some are B2B, some are B2C. So we are into IT, education, corporate finance, hedge funds, lifestyle, wellness, multiple industries. Okay. So like any other business, it's an exchange of product and services for money, and that's what we do. Correct? I'm repeating this again. So basically, when he asks what exactly it is, so you will tell them, listen, I'm partnered with a multinational company. We work with different industries. Okay, we some are into B2B, some are into B2C, but we are into multiple industries like IT, education, corporate finance, hedge funds, lifestyle, wellness, and multiple things. Okay, multiple industries. So like any other business, okay, it is an exchange of product and services for money, and that's what we do. Simple. So the guy will say, oh, no, I seriously did not understand much about it. Obviously, he will not understand much about it, but what more can you say on phone? Not possible, right, to explain the whole business over phone. So tell him that, listen, I did not call you, okay, to talk about the business. I just wanted to say hi to you. I just wanted to know if everybody is safe at home, okay? And when it comes to business, we will meet. Whenever we'll meet, we'll sit and we'll discuss about it. Correct? I did not call you for this. We will meet, sit and discuss about it. Correct? And you cut the conversation there about the business, okay? And then you talk everything else under this planet but business, okay? And you put the phone down. That's your B response. Mark this person as B, okay? Then there is another response, which is called a C response. It's actually a C response, So what is a C response? C response is very, very simple. So somebody, who you talk to, and same thing you say, So you ask him what he's doing, he talks about himself, then you talk about yourself and you say, listen, I started something of my own, I'm partnered with a multinational company, it's a 3 to 5 year project and has a huge earning potential. From a very long time, I was looking out to do something and I finally found and I started and I'm really, really excited about it, right? So the response would be, good, I'm happy for you. That's a C response. Right? Then you share about your other things with him and you keep the phone down. That's your C response. Now you've got A, B and C. A is a priority. This is guy who's open right now to do something. Second guy is curious. The B response is curious. He wants to know more about the business. Your third guy, which is a C response, is maybe or may not be open. We don't know. He did not show any interest as such, but maybe may not be. Sometimes, you know what, people feel that why should I ask him more questions? You know, he will tell me if he has to. Some people are reserved, you know, and some people would not ask you these questions. That doesn't mean they are negative or they are not open to do something. But anyway, their C response, they are not very curious right now, maybe. Okay, right now. But the situation in their life may change. Correct? So that's your A, B and C response. So right now you're just doing an information call. Just an information call. Did I ask you to prospect them? I did not ask you to prospect them. We are sorting. We are just checking if the person is open or not open. Then after a week or so, and every day, how many calls you have to do? You have to give at least 5 information calls every day. Because see, anything that you do, guys, if you don't have a discipline to do it, it will make no sense. Everything need to have a discipline. Correct? So first of all, have a discipline to pick up your phone and make those 5 calls no matter how busy you are. Take out your 30 minutes because it does not require more than 30 minutes to call 5 people. 5 to 7 minutes the call lasts, not more than that. Right? Now, and keep it very crisp. Don't get into unnecessary discussion of what it is. Right? This is the only information right now that you have to give. Because right now, we are not prospecting them. Right now, we're just checking if they're open. Right? So your information call is done. After a week, if you have given call to 5 people every day, how many people you will have informed now? 35. 7 into 5 is 35. Okay? 35 people you have already informed. Now, next week again, repeat the same thing, inform 35 people. If you can inform more, perfect. But I'm saying minimum 5. I'm not saying maximum 5 in a day. So maximum could be 10, 12, 15, 20. Depends on how hungry you are. Is your reason very, very clear? If you really want to grow, your reason will decide the speed in the business. Right? So minimum is 5. Not doing even 5 is a crime. Trust me, it is. Okay, so minimum 5 calls, so 35 and the next week again 35. Now is the time to basically invite them because you've already spoken and given info last week to this guy, maybe a week back to this guy, okay, who maybe gave a response. Okay, so the person who gave a response are the first people we will call. Okay, after a week or 10 days or whatever, because now is the time where you have to start getting people on table, and these people were anyway open to look at something, they were ready to explore, so why not calling them first? So call them first. These are the first people you call. Call up, ting ting, same thing, share pleasantries and tell them. Don't share too many pleasantries, okay? Hey, hi, how are you? Listen, I wanted to talk to you something very important. Do you have 5 minutes? This is a very important line. Why you need to say this line is because obviously need to have 5. Do you have 5 minutes? I need to talk to you something important because now you're going to discuss something which is very, very important. If he's in middle of something, if he's stuck in traffic, he won't be able to hear you properly or he won't be able to focus on what you're saying. Okay. So first of all, do you have 5 minutes? Say, of course, tell me what it is. Listen, you remember we spoke last week and I was telling you that I started something of my own and you told me if there is something you can do. Okay. I was talking to my senior business partner last night. And we were discussing that we need to expand and we are open to add 1 or 2 more like-minded partners on board on an equal profit sharing basis. Okay. Now, understand, I don't know if it is for you. I am not promising you anything. I don't know if it is going to work out between you and my senior partner. Okay, but what I can do is I can fix up your meeting with him. You can sit, and understand everything. If everything goes well, if they are okay with you, you are okay with the business, then we can get started. Okay, but again, I'm not promising you anything. I don't know if it is for you, but what I can do is I can fix up your meeting. Since you were telling me that you are also looking out to do something, I thought of checking with you since there is the meetings going on. Okay, so the guy will obviously say that yes or whatever. Okay, now here is the point where the guy can start asking more questions. He can say, but you did not, but we never had this discussion, but I did not understand what exactly it is. Okay, here the guy can say this. I'll tell him, listen, last time whatever I could explain you over phone that day, I did. I told you I'm partnered with a multinational company. We work with different industries. We are into so many industries, and like any other business, it is an exchange of product and services for money, and that's what we do. Right? Rest, the meeting is being set. Okay, the only reason why I will take an appointment from my senior partner, obviously for them to sit and explain you the whole project. Correct? We sit on a mutual ground. We understand. They understand you. You understand the business. Then let's see if we can work together. No promises. Can you actually promise them? You do not promise them, because obviously if the guy doesn't qualify, we do not show the plan. If the guy doesn't qualify on the mindset, doesn't qualify on the time or the decision making or whatever, we do not show the plan. So can you promise them? Obviously, you cannot promise them anything. It all depends on the discussion that happens on table. So guys, when you are calling people on table, it is not that every person we are going to explain the whole project. We might decide not to. Trust me, in my life, I have done many plans where I have told the guy had money, time, this, that, everything. I said, listen, I don't want to work with you. And I've rejected people. Why? Because I knew they're going to become a liability on me and not an asset, right? Some people talk, I don't know what. They are high on something, sometimes I feel. They don't want to accept the reality, and these are not the people that we really want. And I have rejected so many of them. Even if they wanted to do it, I told them I don't want to work with you, and I will give you somebody else's number. Probably they would be interested in working with you and you can contact them. But I don't want to work with you. Right? So we do that. We do reject people. If we see they're not fitting into what we really want, we do reject. So it's not that people reject you all the time. It's you reject people more than they reject you. Do you realize that? Do you realize how many people who disqualify in the plans, in a way you're rejecting them? We do not show them anything because they are not qualifying. We don't do business with them. Right? So more than people rejecting you, you are rejecting many more of them. Do you realize that? Then why is this fear? Correct? So obviously, the A response, invite them. Okay? B response, the same thing. Okay? You say the same thing. Listen, I want to talk to you something really important. Do you have 5 minutes? Okay? You remember last week when I called you, we spoke about my business. Now, I was talking to my senior business partner and we are open to add partners. I don't know if it is for you. I can't promise you anything, but since we discussed the other day, your name was very fresh in my mind and thought of checking with you if you're open to do something. If you're open, then what I can do is I will fix up your meeting with my senior business partner, and then you can sit across the table. He will see if you fit into the business. You see if business fit into your life, and then we'll see if we can take it forward. Now here, what is more important to say, there are two things which is very, very important here. Okay, so when you're calling the person and when you're saying that, last week we were discussing about the business and I told you I started something of my own. Okay, yesterday I was sitting with my senior business partner. We were discussing with my senior business partner that we are open to add partners. Okay, and although I don't know if it is for you, I can't promise you anything, but I just thought of checking with you if you would be open to do something. Okay, or if you're open or serious to do something. Open and serious. Yeah, I am open. Somebody will come just to explore. Are you seriously open to do something? Okay, so I just thought of checking with you if you're open and serious to do something. So the guy will say, of course, I'm serious, but what exactly it is? Again, the same thing. I told you I'm partnered with a multinational company, blah, blah, blah. Same thing, right? And then you say, listen, let's sit across the table. My senior partner will check if you fit into the business. You check if business fits into your life, and everything goes well. We get started. If not, we're still friends, right? So no promises from my side. I don't know if it is for you, but I can fix up a meeting with you. Meeting with my senior business partner. Correct? That's with B response. C response. So it is not that we do not call the C response. We also invite C response. We don't leave anybody. You don't know who's the next Sachin Gupta. You don't know. So you don't want to miss out on anybody. Right now, anyway, you're checking if they're open to do something. So for C response, the same thing. Call up. Listen, can I talk to you for 5 minutes? I have something very important to talk to you. And then you start. Okay. You remember I was talking to you about my business last week. Okay. And, yesterday I was sitting with my senior business partner. We are expanding. We are open to add partners. So I just thought of checking with you if you're open to do something, if you're open and serious to do something. Because if you are, although I can't promise you anything, I don't know if it is for you, but I can fix up an appointment with my senior business partner. We can sit across the table. You can understand if business fit into your life. They can understand if you fit into the business, and everything goes well. We'll see if we can work together. As simple as that. So you're creating a mutual platform for two people to meet, okay, and share a business idea and then take it forward, right? So this is your A, B, and C. Clear? Okay. Then comes so in your list, your hot is covered, your warm is covered this way. Then comes your cold zone. Now I always suggest, okay, that you bring your cold zone to warm zone and then you talk to them. Okay. Now how to bring your cold zone to warm zone? It is very simple. Catch-ups. Please meet them. Right? Have coffee with them. Okay. Increase your communication with them. Right? Be friends with them. You are a networker, guys. And eventually you need to become a person. You talk to the person once and you can connect. You can click with that person. And if you can develop that skill, more people, you have to basically create your likability. If people like you, they would want to work with you. Okay, and to basically have the likability factor, you have to start meeting people. Even if you have spoken to this person in the bus stop, you just exchange the business card, you don't know that person well, call him up. Say, listen, we met at the bus stop and we spoke and it was really great to speak to you. I think we should catch up. What are you doing this evening? Come over, let's have coffee. People do come. People do come to meet, right? Get that person into your warm zone. Talk to him, get that person in the warm zone. The moment you get that person in the warm zone is when basically then you give your info and then you can invite. It is time consuming, yes, but it will increase the probability of a sign up. It will increase your result. But if you just call people cold zone randomly, you will show hundreds of plans to get 2 sign-ups. It is going to be very, very difficult, guys. So what is a better thing to do to increase your result is basically get your warm zone into, your cold zone into a warm zone. And that's how you prospect. Correct? So this is about prospecting. This is the tool that I wanted to 5+3 or the script or what we say, what is important and what is not important. I wanted to say that because everybody, I think before me, spoke about the mindset of how the mindset should be. You need to call people. But when you call people, what do you say when you call people is also very, very important. Okay. So as I told you, the first person that you need to call and get in the business is your hot zone. The second, you basically call up your warm zone, you line up the meetings and you show them the plan. For cold zone, make them your warm zone and then do the same process with them. And that's how you prospect. Keep adding 3 names in the list because remember, it is 5 plus 3. It is not only 5 info calls. It is, you have to add 3 people. And I spoke to you when I was talking about the list. I spoke to you guys on that. Okay, so do your +3, add 3 people every day in your list. Okay, because when you add 3 people in your cold zone, you have an opportunity to bring those 3 in your warm zone and you start prospecting them. So this is prospecting. This is how you go out and you start talking to people. Okay, are you getting me? Do you think this session was informative? Okay. Do you think this makes sense? Yeah. Okay. So do you? Yeah. So this is all about 5+3. This is all about prospecting. Now, as when I started, I told you guys that before you even pick up your phone, what is most important is to sort this out. If this is sorted, trust me, with the same list, if there are, let's say, 2 people, okay, one is a person with a great mindset with a 500 ka list, and there's other person with not that great mindset with 500 list, the result here would be much better than this guy. Okay, so if you are getting results, understand it is because of the mindset. If you're not getting result, it is again because of the mindset. So first, what you need to work on is your belief. If your belief is strong, then you can obviously then you can prospect people effectively, and then you can get better results. Also, while you are prospecting people or connecting to people or talking to people, apart from the script that I've given you, you can use the script in your own way, make it your own. It should not look like you're reading. Okay, make it your own. You can also use a lot of stories which Digvijay shared yesterday in prospecting. He shared about monkey peanut story. You can use a lot of tools like dream versus reality. You can use a circle of life. You can use IBMM, which I will not talk here, which your uplines will talk to you. It's a great tool, IBMM. Ask them what it is. That you can use. Then there are many tools. Okay, so when you're prospecting people now, just don't do the same thing over and over again. Okay, try new things. Do IBMM, do monkey peanut story, do circle of life, do ESBI, do dream versus reality. There are so many tools to use, and your uplines have been teaching you all these tools. What I did today is just 5% of prospecting. It's just a script. Do this. This is like, what? You can't eat yourself, so I'm feeding you. This is that. But if you really want to be a great networker, you can't just mug up these lines and say it. Learn more prospecting tools. And obviously, we can't cover everything in that one session. So for prospecting tools, maybe we will have another session, okay, where all the prospecting tools can be shared with you. And most of you know it. Most of you have read business school, you know ESBI. That can be shared. Most of you know about dream versus reality. Most of you know about circle of life. Most of you know about IBMM. So use that. Okay, use all these tools to prospect people, to raise curiosity, right? Use all those tools and make your prospecting more interesting. Meet people, talk to them, make it interesting. Otherwise, you know what? You will become like a telecaller. Pick up the phone, talk to people. Pick up the phone, talk to people. And for how long you can keep doing that if you're not adding anything of your own? It is like, you become like a parrot, like a telecaller. You're just saying the same thing over and over again. Add your own things, add your own flavor, add your own experiences, add your own stories, add your tools that has been taught to you, and make your prospecting very, very interesting. And trust me, guys, when you start using the knowledge that you got from the book, you guys start using the tools that you have got, you will have so much fun prospecting, because you will always have an upper hand, because your knowledge will always be more than the other person you're talking to. Trust me, he has not read all the books. You have read all the books. You know the stories. You know how to tackle it. You know how to talk to people. You know it. And when you have an upper hand, and when you are prospecting the person, trust me, if with that kind of a prospecting somebody comes on table, for somebody who's presenting, no, it is a treat. Today I really love doing plans for some of the people, because it's a treat, because the prospecting that they have done is so smooth, so nice, that it's just a treat to do plan for them. And for some people, when they get people on table, it is like me starting from prospecting all over again, doing the mindset all over again, and it is so much of a pain to do a plan for them. So improve your prospecting, make it smooth, make it very, very natural. Okay, say what you believe in. Do not just say scripts. Say things which you believe in. Use the tools and make it interesting, make it interactive, make it more powerful. And trust me, your results will grow. Okay, so until next time, this is it. This is what I wanted to cover tomorrow. Okay, guys, tomorrow is a very, very exciting day. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and what happens every Wednesday at 10 o'clock is something really exciting. So tomorrow we have a system. Okay, and that system, I will not tell you who, but that system will be taken by somebody. We all are a part of his organization. We all are, from VP Dev Wadhwani to VP Sachin Gupta to everybody that you know is a part of this person's organization. Okay, so you know how big, what kind of an organization this person had, and I am really looking forward to listen from him. And so tomorrow, Wednesday, just be glued on your computer screen, sharp at 8:30 Dubai time, 11:30 Vietnam time, 10 o'clock India time, and let's rock and roll tomorrow, and let's have lots of fun. Until then, keep talking to people, keep prospecting. Even if you are doing mistakes, it's absolutely okay. You will learn from your mistakes. What disaster can you do? There can't be anything or any mistake that cannot be repaired later. Your uplines have all the tools, they can do it. So just go all out, talk to people, line up maximum plans, and do maximum signups and make maximum money in this lockdown time. Because remember what I told you last time? Max out in lockdown. And this is what we need to create. We need to have maximum max out in lockdown stories. And you know what? I was just crazy. It was just a crazy idea. And I was thinking that we have, let's say, 100 people who maxed out in a lockdown time. We will do the whole 4-hour session online with 20,000, 30,000 people. And all these people will come and share their experience of how they maxed out in a lockdown. How amazing that would be, so much to learn from people, best practice sharing, what did they do to max out in a lockdown. It will be crazy stories, I'm sure, and I'm waiting for such stories, but that will only be possible when you go all out, you start talking to people and you make it happen for yourself. So guys, go out, talk to as many people as you can and do not waste this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, VP Kavita. Thank you so much. You're all blessed to get your time. And yes, you will create maximum max outs. Thank you so much. Guys, see you all tomorrow. Till then, ciao.